Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise Legend History video, the featured character is Tony Chopper. He is the doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates and the 6th member of the crew, the first one to actually join in the Grand Line. Chopper has a devil fruit, the Hito no Mi, or the human fruit, which actually makes him human-like even though he is a reindeer, and that is exactly why he was outcasted both by the reindeers and the humans in his early years. But Doctors Hiriluk and Kureha took care of him. They were both parental figures for Chopper. His dream is to be able to cure every disease, and because of Hiriluk, he always liked the idea of being a pirate because they can live free. So after the events of Drum Island, since the Straw Hats were also in dire need of a doctor, Chopper was the perfect fit and joined the crew. The Rumble Balls are one of Chopper's best creations since they allow him to transform and utilize his fruit at a higher potential. He used them before but also after the time skip, being able to control his transformations better, but also add more to its arsenal. We have seen Chopper use different fighting style techniques throughout One Piece, just like he did in Enies Lobby and after the time skip in Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, Whole Cake, Wano, and so on and so forth. In One Piece Treasure Cruise specifically, he appears in a total of 7 legends. The first legend Chopper ever saw in One Piece Treasure Cruise was Christmas Chopper, not even a canon unit actually, but a very good utility one. That character was able to reduce 5 turns of paralysis, burn, bind, despair, special bind, attack down, increased damage taken, RCV down, and blindness, while he was able to also completely remove poison and provide end of turn healing for 3 turns. Truly living up to the title of the Doctor of the Straw Hats. This character also got a super evolution several years later, where he essentially became a direct upgrade to his already utility self by being able to remove more turns of the debuffs and help the crew more. Awesome as a crewmate was used a lot, and as a captain he could also double your cotton candy acquired from completing a quest, so in easy quests he could also be captain for sure to help you farm drops. With his second legend, he was a part of the V1 Straw Hats from One Piece 1000 Logs, and the legend was released on One Piece Day. Every single Straw Hat was present here, and all of them had something to do in the unit's abilities. Chopper specifically helps with the niche ability of removing 5 turns of a debuff applied to the crew, living up to the role of the Doctor. With the release of the known V2 Straw Hat crew, Chopper got his 3rd legend appearance, but also his first Super Sugofest character, in a very strong unit of course on release, but once again not in a solo legend. That is his first dual unit though, and this is one of the few Chopper units in the game where we don't see much utility being present. Even though the unit was very strong with one of the best final taps in the game, utility was not the strong suit here. For the next legend we have General Frankie Dream Docking, where Chopper is not a huge part of the unit, it's more Frankie focused, but not only is Chopper a part of the evolved artwork, he is also a part as Commander Chopper of one of the 2 solo forms of the dual unit. Of course, both the 5-star and 6-star artworks are from the events of Wano, where Chopper alongside Usopp brought one part to create General Frankie, and then Frankie himself with Brook brought the other. This character was released alongside V2 Brook and was actually from the captain ability able to deal with either 10 turns of attack down or 10 turns of burn. The Chopper side has the burn, and then was able to provide an attack boost, an ore boost, a color affinity boost, and even healing, making it an interesting character, but never one of the best in the game. His second solo legend finally arrived after so many years, but once again not exactly a canon unit for Chopper, not from the series but from an One Piece movie, specifically Film Red. And he actually arrived alongside one of the best Super Sugofest characters ever released, Uta. He could do wonders alongside a double Uta captain, but as far as a standalone character, he was just decent. I wouldn't say he was amazing, because his utility and healing were very good, 6 turns of bind removal and also 6 turns of despair removal, but then he could just drop resistances for cerebral characters and provide a color affinity boost for int and cerebral, possibly for 2 different stages if the requirements were met. The damage boosting part, not the best, but helps utility wise, and as a captain he could once again help with cotton candy duplication drops, and he could help a lot with overhealing even with his super special actually that provided int super typing, but overall was not an amazing captain. Chopper got his 3rd solo legend in the Memories of the Straw Hats line of legends, but it was an underwhelming release. This is also a Kizuna specific legend with only one 6-star form coming from after the events of Wano, but a beautiful artwork that is for sure, with some of the most influential people in his life being in the background as well. The reason I am calling this release underwhelming though, first of all, another solo legend for Chopper where he does not really get a good moment of his from the series illustrated in the artwork. On top of that, the legend kind of felt forced in a way to deal with Kizuna debuffs, because he can remove 10 turns of pain from his captain ability and 7 turns of defense up from his special, both of which of course appeared in said Kizuna event. But we have seen that happen multiple times in OPTC, right? As a captain, one of the best solo Chopper legend captains, that is for sure. Removing pain, one of the only characters that could do it at that point in the game, but his special ability outside of the utility did not have the best damage boosting, and not even a lot of utility. Defense up, poison removal, and that is essentially it. Also some help with special cooldown reduction, if I'm not mistaken. Then, chain tap timing bonuses for specific characters, and the ability to enhance attack up 2 times, something extremely niche, and this Chopper never really got used specifically for that reason. It is also noteworthy that this is the first ever superclass Chopper unit. The final and most recent legend release for Chopper is another dual unit, this time alongside Robin, and he of course has a big part in the illustration. It is one of the Egghead dual units, and we do have some nice combination of abilities here. As captain, 10 turns of attack down removal and HP overhealing, which is pretty nice. Then with the swap we have the ability for cerebral resistance drop on the enemy, damage reduction, and an increase for duration on base attack boosting and chain multiplication buffs, which is extremely niche but can find a use if you want to transition these buffs in another stage perhaps. And for the special we get healing, 7 turns of damage reduction removal, which is very good, and as far as damage boosting goes, we get some unique combinations of base attack boosting, chain multiplier growth rate boosting, both for 3 turns by the way, and percent damage reduction attack boost, but if specific requirements are met. These were all the Chopper legends in One Piece Treasure Cruise, so let's talk about some fun facts and statistics about Chopper in OPTC. First of all, let's clarify that since Chopper only has one Super Evolution and it is a direct upgrade, both the 6-star and 6+ forms count as one, and as far as colors and typings, if one appears in either a dual form or perhaps in a solo form of a Chopper dual unit, we count it in the statistics. The Doctor appears in one strength unit, which is one side of the V2 Straw Hats. He has 3 Dex appearances, all of them in dual units, no Q ones, 4 Psi ones, making it the most popular color for Chopper, and 2 Int ones, both of them being in his solo legends. and one of them also having super type. As far as classes go, Chopper does have some interesting diversity. He appears 5 times as a fighter, making it his most popular class, 4 times as a cerebral, and in 2 out of these times he is also able to provide the class with super class, 3 free spirit appearances, 2 shooter ones, and 1 as a slasher as well, which is pretty interesting, and that comes from the dual form of General Frankie. 4 Chopper legends have super specials, 3 of them have super swaps, and as far as banner distribution goes, Chopper has only 1 Super Sugofest character, the V2 Straw Hats, 2 Kizuna legends, the one with Robin and the Memories of the Straw Hats one, and 4 normal ones, all of the rest. And finally, he appears in 4 solo legends, funnily enough, none of them being from a canon fight or moment he had in the series, but also 3 dual legends. Let's place all of the Chopper legends in a tier list based on meta impact they had on release. V1 Christmas Chopper 100% in the S tier, not only his 6 star but also 6+ form. As a strong utility character he was used a lot, and because his 5-star form actually has the shooter class, which is different from the 6-star and 6+ forms, a lot of people kept one copy of 5-star Chopper to even use if necessary for the team. The V1 Straw Hats go into A tier because of their versatility. The V2 Straw Hats became one of the best characters in the entire game, so definitely into the top of S tier. General Frankie will go into the bottom of A tier. Film Red Chopper into the top of A tier. If we consider him just as a combination with Uta, maybe S tier, but I think A is more fair to him. Then the Memories of the Straw Hats Chopper C tier, and Robin with Chopper into the A tier as well. Let's reform the tier list based on current value of its unit. V1 Christmas Chopper, his super evolution, I will definitely say A tier because his utility can still be impactful in different teams. Then for the V1 Straw Hats I will go into the B tier, not the best damage boosting, but if you need their knees they might be even irreplaceable. The V2 Straw Hats into the bottom of A tier, not one of the best legends in the game anymore. General Frankie will go into the B tier because of not having universal boosting, but more importantly, as a captain they're a bit clunky with their swapping, since one side deals with burn, the other with attack down, and you need to form your plan carefully with the swaps before entering a new stage to deal with the debuff, and they are not that strong of a captain anyway. Film Red Chopper into the A tier next to Christmas Chopper for sure, still valuable units. Memories of the Straw Hats Chopper I would probably say B tier. If you need to remove pain as a captain he can help you, and if you don't need that and you don't need to remove defense up either, definitely C tier, but for his niche utility B tier. And finally Robin with Chopper into the A tier. Looking at the tier list now, I think we definitely have to move Christmas Chopper and Film Red Chopper into the S tier because no units are there, and in my opinion these are the 2 best choppers in the game. So yeah, we're definitely doing that. And for his top 5 artworks, as far as legends go in One Piece Treasure Cruise, at least in my opinion, number 1 will be 6-star Christmas Chopper. Very beautiful artwork and at the same time a legendary unit. Number 2, I will place the Memories of the Straw Hats one. It's a nice artwork having his important people in the background as well. That is a very nice touch in the entirety of the line, even though they were kind of underwhelming releases. Then I will have the 5-star form of Christmas Chopper, probably his cutest artwork in my opinion. Next I will have the 6-star form of Film Red Chopper, and finally for the 5th spot, Robin and Chopper, the most recent legend. I did not really count the Straw Hats one or the General Frankie ones because Chopper doesn't really have a big impact in these artworks in my opinion, so I guess the pool of choices got a bit reduced. But that is a full One Piece Treasure Cruise legend history for Tony Chopper. Tell me in the comments down below who do you want to see featured next in this series, and if you do enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like or a comment. I would really appreciate it. You can check more episodes by clicking the videos on the screen, and as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.